glad you're joining me for this series on the Smart Step Family. My goal is to prepare you for blended family living, so your marriage is strong, your kids have a safe place in which to grow and mature, and the next generation is better equipped for their own family. You know, marriage and family is one of God's greatest tools for growing us up. Relationships are a refining fire. They stretch us, mature us, and humble us, as long as we let them. I hope you'll let God stretch you a little bit in this series. There are a lot of different kinds of step families. They come in many shapes and sizes. As a matter of fact, we did the math. There are 67 different step family configurations. Some of them have former spouses, some of them don't. Some with multiple households, some with only one. A deceased parent in some cases, empty nest, or lots of children, or children who live with you part-time, some of them full-time, or you've adopted a child, or you had a child together. It goes on and on and on. There's a lot of combinations. What this means is not everything in this series or in the Smart Step Family book will apply to your specific blended family. That the most stressful time for blended families is in the beginning, what I call the integration years. Where you are now, trying to figure out how to be a family and move forward, that's all a part of the journey. It takes real emotional effort to merge your family histories, your traditions, your personalities, the parenting styles you bring in as parents, the loss narratives and the grief that's under the surface for each individual in the home. Not to mention with dealing with ongoing challenges of co-parenting, for example, or visitation schedules, the financial and legal matters that many blended families face. Let me show you what I mean. Watch Nathan and Carmen in their family situation. It started out difficult, but if you continue to press in like they did, you can find the rewards on the other side.
The complexity of our blended family looks pretty obscure to me sometimes. It's pretty complex. We deal with having to communicate with our other two daughters in North Carolina. We FaceTime them every Monday night. We also have to travel to go get them in the summers. We drive anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 miles to pick them up and come back.
My daughter enjoyed having two sisters when they came. So when they came into the picture, she's like, hey, like I have people, you know? But it was hard because it wasn't the same for them. For them, they always had each other. It's like Lila and Natalie. It's always been Lila and Natalie. And when Nellie came in, they're just like, who are you?
So they kind of pick at each other sometimes. It's like, you're not my real sister, or you're just my friend, or you're not my sister. And they try to do those hurtful words because in their mind, it's hard for them to realize that they are brother and sister, that they are one family now and not two separate families.
Because when the girls are here, his girls are here, they're like, daddy, 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 you know, they're very loving. And I think that's when she really starts to see, like, where's my dad? Because when his girls go home, they have mommy. So it's like she doesn't get that part that they get. They get daddy and mommy, and she just gets mommy and stepdaddy, even though she adores Nathan, but it's not the same. And I saw she was writing her dad, but she was writing him, my heart is broken. I miss you. I love you. Come back. I miss you. My heart is breaking, with little sad emojis. And there was no response. So when I saw that, like any parent, I kind of broke down a little bit. And how do you confront your child about that? It was hard for Malaya to accept Nathan, but slowly she started to come around to the idea of he's not leaving. This is it. So now she calls him daddy sometimes, and everything's good until, you know, she's a child, until she gets disciplined, like until he's like, hey, you don't do that. And she's like, okay, like my daddy would, like she's told me, my daddy doesn't yell at me. Okay, so he's not around, but of course you can't tell your child that, but he's really stepped up. Nathan's really stepped up and been great for her.
And trying to deal with that and cope with that is very hard. It's very stressful to try to be a father to a child that is not really accepting it at the moment. And once Once you get a little bit of that crack done though, and once you get in there and you see that little bit of glimpse of them accepting you as that, it makes it all worth it. It makes it all worth it when that stepchild looks at you and just hugs you out of just pure love and acceptance. It really does. It just makes the complexity and the stress and the pain that you had to go through for this blended family all worth it.
So let me share some takeaways with you that we can learn from their story. The first is this: the dream you had of becoming a family may have seemed simple, but reality is far more complex. It's the difference between riding a motorcycle and driving a car. Now, if you know how to drive a car, you've been doing that most of your life. You know how to steer, you know how to maneuver, you know how to slow and fast, you know how to make a hard right turn, you know how to make a gradual turn. If you took all those same skills and hopped on a motorcycle and started driving it in the exact same way, you're gonna be in trouble, right? It's a totally different vehicle. Blended families are families, but they're a different vehicle than a biological family. You have to learn how to drive your family vehicle. Some of the challenges in blended family living, this is where God grows us up. This is where He matures us as we begin to figure out and learn how to maneuver this particular vehicle. You will get there. A second takeaway: you have to accept that there are people in your life that you did not choose. Stepmoms, your husband's former spouse, what I like to call your ex-wife-in-law, is now part of your family. With one phone call, she can change your schedule, she can change your finances, she can change your husband's mood. He was in a good mood, then the phone rang and he talked to his former wife, and now he's in a bad mood, and now that ripples over into who he is with you and your kids. Parents, with a new marriage, of course you get a new mother-in-law and a new father-in-law, right? And you keep the former in-laws, who are also grandparents. They're very invested in their grandchildren. They want to stick around, right? So accommodating them at birthdays and holidays makes life a little bit more challenging. There's complexity. There's people in your life that you didn't necessarily choose. And if those realities annoy you a little bit, imagine being a kid. Here's a third takeaway I want to give you. To create that climate, you need step-family answers to step-family questions. There's a lot of great books out there about parenting, about marriage, and they can all be helpful for you in a way. But please understand, the focus of the material is not on your family situation. This study and the material that we've created is designed specifically for your home. It helps you make sense of the complexity in your life and gain empathy and compassion for what's going on with other people in your life. That is going to help you a lot. Now, it's time for you to do some discussion and apply some of the things that you've learned in this first lesson. The participant's guide is going to walk you through some of the questions. Oh, and don't forget the recommended reading for this week. It'll offer some more teaching and help you apply what you've learned in this video. Have a good week.